What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we got an arm day for you. I'm going to be walking you through my arm workout. I'll do a voiceover, so you'll get footage in the gym, and I'll voice over what exactly I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So if you want to learn how to build big arms, stick around. Also some vlog footage, so that's what will be in this video just from the last couple days. Shelby, my girlfriend, is actually doing a bodybuilding show, and we had a little refeed for her, so we got some fun food. But other than that, make sure you stick around to see how to get big arms. Alright guys, what you're seeing now is dumbbell shoulder press, obviously. These are the 90s. Obviously this is not my first set. Typically I'd warm up with some reps with the 50s, some reps with the 75s, and then I would move on to the 90s. Actually, my shoulder press strength has been kind of weak recently. Not sure why. Typically I would do these with the hundreds. I have done them with the hundreds probably 3 or 4, I'd say 3 times since prep was over. So not sure why my strength is down right now. There's a few reasons that I can think of, which I will be fixing here in the next few weeks, but that was just 8 reps and 2 partial reps. Typically I would like to see closer to 10, maybe even 12 with those. I think my PR with the 100-pound dumbbells is 10, so definitely need to be increasing that shoulder press strength. Shoulder press, what this does, it's really great for the front and medial delt. Not so much the rear delt, but the rear delt is active here. Obviously, I do like to start off most of my workouts with a heavy compound, and given this is an arm day, my heavy compound of choice is dumbbell shoulder press. Alright, going into the second set here with the same weight here, 90s. Sometimes the second set might feel slightly easier than the first one because your central nervous system gets adjusted or adapted to that heavier load. So typically I'll go for the same amount of reps, if not more, with this set. And then after this, I went into a lighter set with the 70-pound dumbbells, doing 1.5 reps, which is half rep from the bottom, back down, and then all the way up. So what that does really, it just keeps a little bit more time under tension, especially in the lengthened or stretch part of the movement, and those are really good for kind of just draining out the last bit of energy you have, as well as generating possibly some extra hypertrophy, which we all want. And here we are with my lighter set. I like to do this usually with my compound movements, not so much with isolation movements, but here we have the 1.5 reps, so we'll go halfway up, down, all the way up with every rep, and then towards the end, just to get a few extra reps out without generating too much fatigue, I'll switch into full reps. Like I said, this is a great way just to kind of squeeze out as much, as much lactic acid into the muscle as you can, and just generate as much hypertrophy as possible. Next movement here is going to be my heavy movement for biceps, just dumbbell curls. My strength actually on dumbbell curls has been a little bit, I guess, not up to par. Peak bulk, earlier this year I was doing this with the 55s. I even got up to being able to do this with the 60s for almost as many reps. But here I'm just kind of focusing on just squeezing the muscle pretty good here. Not as much focus on the stretch of the movement here because it is a heavy dumbbell curl. This could be, this could lead to getting injured if you're not careful. This is a weight that I've done multiple times. I can handle it, so I'm not concerned with getting injured. But as far as a heavy bicep movement, it doesn't get a lot better than a standard standing dumbbell curl. All right, second set here, same thing. After this, I also did a light third set. I grabbed the 25-pound dumbbell, and I did single arm preacher curls with one of the benches there. So what you do there is you put a bench on a pretty vertical incline. You stand to the side and a little bit behind the bench, and you lay the back of your humerus or your upper arm on the bench, and you do basically just a preacher curl, very much more concentrated on the squeeze and stretch on that movement. I've been experimenting with that one recently, actually. I've only done it 4 or 5 times, and I've been really liking it. So that also is a great way to add just a little bit more intensity. You can also use that as a drop set, so you could go right into that directly after this in a drop set format. But for this workout, I didn't film it, but I just used that as my third set of dumbbell curls. Next up on the agenda is rope attachment tricep cable extensions. I've been experimenting with these a little bit. This is a movement I don't typically do, but I've found a way to kind of slightly adjust my hand position and the way I contract my tricep to try and activate the long head of the tricep or the back of the arm there a little bit more. As you can see, the short head of my tricep is vastly more developed than the long head. So I've been doing these to try and even out my triceps. As you can see, slightly heavy here, trying to get a big stretch on the tricep at the top and going to complete failure, because if you don't, you're kind of just a pussy. All right, set number 2, the exact same thing, not changing anything here, same weight. For all of my movements, I really want 10 plus reps. I'll range anywhere from 8 to like 20 reps, really. Just depends on how I'm feeling that day, how heavy I'm going. Sometimes a weight that normally feels heavy feels a little bit lighter, so I just go to wherever failure is, whether that's 8 reps or 30 reps, I just find failure, and that's where we stop. You'll see me kind of stop the movement every once in a while, and just kind of adjust my shoulders just to make sure I'm really in a position where I can contract the long head of my tricep. What I just did there was adjusted the weight to make it a little bit lighter so I could do a drop set. What a drop set is, it's just when you reach failure with a weight, drop the weight a little bit and just get a few more reps out. This is just going to generate as much hypertrophy, again, as possible, which is all what we're all looking for. Wow, I'm looking tiny, bro. Alright, the next movement on the list is definitely one of my favorites for shoulders. These are just simply dumbbell lateral raises. I do these probably 4 or 5 times a week. I personally think that volume for the side delts or the lateral delt is going to produce the most growth. This is not a movement that you can really go super heavy on. Your traps are usually pretty heavily activated. So as you can see, I'm only using the 30s here. And one of the movements that your delts play a part in is internal rotation of the humerus. So when you're doing these, going with a lighter weight and trying to point your pinky towards the ceiling or doing a thumbs down motion while you're raising the dumbbells up is going to help with the activation of that delt, as well as focusing on trying to almost relax your traps in a way is going to really allow you to get the most out of your lateral delt without your traps taking over too much. So that is something I always think about while I'm doing it, is going light and really trying to just focus on using the lateral delt as much as I can. All right, we have set number 2 here, the exact same thing, exact same weight. Sometimes on my last set of these, I will drop the weight in half and do a little drop set. So here, once I reach failure with the 30s, I instantly go grab the 15s and do another little mini set to failure with those. Again, just a drop set, just a way to increase intensity of your workouts. I find being able to increase intensity in ways that doesn't just mean adding reps or adding weight is always a great thing to try and add into your program. hitting a little physique check here mid-workout. I'm about 25 pounds up from stage weight. As you can see here, we're looking bigger than we did, but still a little bitch. Moving into the next bicep movement, we have a seated supinated curl machine. If you have one of these at your gym, I highly recommend you try it. It's a great isolation machine, very good for hypertrophy, bodybuilding purposes. So as you can see, with pretty much all of my arm days, I go, for exercise selection, I go shoulders, biceps, triceps, shoulders, bicep, triceps. And then some days I will do a little bit more of one of the muscles if I am deeming they need a little bit more work. But here I'm getting, I think this was around 12 reps here. And this machine is really good for being able to squeeze out those last partial reps there at the end, as you can see, to make it an intense set. All right, set number 2 here, same thing. If I recalling correctly, I might have made this a drop set. I do enjoy using a lot of intensifiers such as drop sets. There's other things like cluster sets or supersets or monster sets, I think they're called. There's a lot of different ways to add intensity to your workouts. And if you can find some of your favorites or some that work for you, yep, there you can see there I adjusted the weight. But if you can find some that work for you, I highly recommend trying some intensifiers such as drop sets. All right, next we got what I call a straight bar tricep push down. It's not a straight bar, as you can see, it's a cambered bar, but this just feels better on my wrists. So this is just another tricep movement. It's pretty similar to like a close grip bench press. It's just a little bit of a different variation. Flaring the elbows out, trying my best not to use any of my chest, which is gonna come into play just a tiny bit because you're moving your humerus. As you can see, the extension at the elbow there via the tricep. This is a great movement to get a good stretch and put a lot of load on the triceps there. I'm using the full stack with an added 25-pound plate into with a little 5-pound plates that you can put on the machine. Hopefully this thing doesn't break on me someday. And here we go with set number 2. I don't recommend doing this at your gym. You could like actually break these machines and a cable could snap in your face. But I am simply willing to take the risk because this movement feels great and the stacks just aren't heavy enough because that's just how they're built. But yeah, give this movement a try if you're looking for a little bit of a different tricep variation. My next arm day, I will be trying another tricep movement that I've never done before, so I will make sure to film that for you guys. And looks like we're done there. All right, this is the next and final bicep movement. This is a rope hammer curl. This is the way I do it is a little bit different than most. As you can see, I kind of lean back and pull the rope more towards me versus up. I simply just feel this a lot more in my brachioradialis as well as my bicep versus just more up, kind of like this, like you would do with a dumbbell hammer curl. But what this movement does is to get the part of your arm that you don't train directly with a normal bicep curl. In order to really train this muscle properly, you need to have a fairly pronated grip on whatever attachment you're using, whether that be a dumbbell, barbell, anything like that, because your bicep's going to do most of the work with a supinated hand. The brachioradialis is kind of in between the bicep and the tricep and attaches down on your forearm. So this muscle, it really adds some size to your arm if it's pretty well developed. As you can see, mine is not. Nothing on my arm is well developed. But hey, that's why we're doing them. All right, this is the final tricep movement of the day. This is just kind of like a crossbody cable extension. It's very important to put your triceps, a lot of your muscles really, in different positions and work them at different angles. because you're going to be hitting each muscle in those muscles. So the tricep is made up of 3 muscles, and you're going to hit all of them differently based on the positioning of your arms. This one's a good one I learned from Urs Kalachinski, the 3rd place classic physique at the Olympia. But yeah, these provide a really good burn and a really good stretch on the triceps there. As you can see, I'm giving myself a little bit of assistance to get myself some extra reps. That's also another reason why this movement is great, because you can give yourself a little self-spot action. Same thing here on the other side. I believe I did 2 sets per arm. So I like to have usually 6 to 10 working sets for a muscle in each given workout. That varies based on what I want to train more that day, what I'm focused on, how I'm feeling, what kind of movements I did. And then after this, I just did some leaning, I guess, lateral raises with a dumbbell on a bench, which I did not film, but I will film the next arm day. But I think that is it for this workout. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. And let's watch the little mini vlog.
More power. I need a body that can withstand more rigorous training.
Your body has already performed well beyond expected limits. If we increase the dosage, the effects to your internal organs may be disastrous. Your heart could explode.
I already told you the consequences are meaningless. I must get stronger. I don't care if I live 1 more year or 100, so long as I defeat him.
That is gone now, but bulking is way cooler than being on prep, so.
Ladies first. Oh, I'm gonna go to shade. You too hot?
Nobody's hungry. Are you hungry? She must be.